There's a move in God's house. Some of you don't know how to trust God. Y'all be half-stepping. Look, I came to talk about y'all since y'all here. The Lord began to deal with me concerning our church, and He said, you know what? They don't realize how blessed they are, not because of what they have, but what they could apprehend. Some of y'all get excited for the stuff that you got right now, the stuff that God done for you, not realizing that you still haven't even gotten access to everything that God has promised you. You only found out that God was a divine healer because you realized the doctors gave up on you. The only reason why you know God really could provide for you is because you realized you didn't have enough money to make it. And you finally turned to prayer. Amen. I told you, either you're going to believe it works or it don't. Either you in this house because God can do something amazing, or this your social club. I am telling you, God is able. You know what? I got to flow of the Spirit. I'm getting you up there right up and get off the call. Look, but I gotta move because the flow of the Spirit is in here like crazy. Some people need healing in their bodies. Some people need resources. Some people need promises manifested in their life. And you've been struggling. You've been struggling because you've been doing everything else but trusting God. Real quick, I want you to go real quick to John. Go to John 11 real quick. And you ain't even got to stand. You ain't even got to stand. Just give me just a moment right here. You ain't even got to stand. Go to John 11. You don't know. Don, you know the power in that song? Huh? You know the power behind that song? You don't know when he's down to me? Let me tell you. But see, everybody can't say they love Jesus because everybody don't. Some of y'all see him as a sugar daddy. Some of you just like him. But for those of us that love him, meaning we've been with him through the thick and through the thin. He's seen us through our worst. He's seen us through our best. And the only consistent thread is the fact that he's been there with us. And then we talk about the things that he's done for us. See, we only talk about him paying a bill or him helping our child, but we can't testify that he brought you and I out of a situation where we had the knife to our neck. We don't talk about the time when we had the pills ready to take. Hey, listen, you ain't got to amen. I can look at you and tell you went through it. We don't talk about the time when we're about to run out on our family. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about the time when we use other people to try to get ahead. We don't talk about those things because we don't realize that God kept us from all of those struggles. All of those things that should have taken your life out. That's why you need to learn to praise your way through your circumstance. I know that you may not be at the best place in your life in the way you're living with God. I know you still got more street than Jesus in you. That's fine. But as long as you got a little Jesus in you, that's enough to start a wildfire in your life. And I know everybody don't amen you, everybody don't like you, and I get all of that, but let me tell you how much that matters. Zero. That's why when that song comes on and you start doing that song, it's empowering to me because it reminds me that Jesus did it not because everybody voted for it to happen. Everybody didn't agree for it to happen, but Jesus did it just because he loved you. And you were willing to accept who he was in your life. Let me help you all. This is going to be one of the most profound prophetic weeks you'll ever have in your life because God will move in ways that you never thought possible. Some of y'all going to come out of debt this week. Some of y'all going to be healed in your body. Some of your mind will be completely restored. Some of you will get relationships fixed that you didn't think were possible being fixed. You know why? Because God's going to prove to you that He came for you. Are you there in John 11? Let me give you a text so I can prove it to you real quick. And you can still play a little bit behind unless you want to read. It's up to you, your choice. 38. And so Jesus, again, being deeply moved within, he came to the tomb where the cave and a stone was lying against it, right? I'm in 38 now, 39. John 11. Jesus said, remove the stone. I can preach right there. Somebody say remove the stone. Somebody say remove the stone. Remove the stone. Let me tell you this right now. While you're listening and you're following me, I need you to know that today is the day that Jesus has commanded the stone to be removed. What am I talking about? That thing that you didn't think you were going to get over, that addiction that you thought you were going to struggle with for the rest of your life, that simple fact, that struggle, that relationship that you thought we're never going to get, today is the day that Jesus commands your stone to be removed. I don't think you're hearing me. Some of you have just tried to cater your life around the stone. Some of you try to say, well, look, this is just how it's going to be. Every time you come around, I just got to stay walking around this still stone because it ain't nothing going to change. That person ain't going to get no better. Ain't nothing going to be different. But I've come to let somebody know today that this is the day that God removes the barrier that has stopped you from moving forward in your life. I don't expect everybody to get it, just the folk that need it. Amen, somebody. Amen. And Martha, the sister of the deceased, said to him, Lord, by this time there should be a stench because he's been dead for 4 days. Let me help somebody real quick and understand this particular context. Martha was like some folk that you know. None of y'all in here, but Martha was like some folk that you all know. And Brother Joe, can you close that door for me? Just give me a call. Martha was like some folk that you know that always run around here. They be saying, well, you know, Pastor, you know I got a shut-off notice, and you know they're going to come and they're going to be out here by 8 o'clock on that day. And you find it that it's 2 days later and your power's still on. Amen. Why? Because God has come to break your religious thinking. I know what men has said to you. Yes, I understand that they've given you a few years to live. I know they've told you that this addiction cannot be beaten. I know they've told you that you are stuck in this lifestyle. But can I just parenthetically insert this? That God has come to mess up all your thinking today. Amen. That if you want to be healed, if you want to be delivered, if you want to be free of the areas that bother you in your life, if you want to stop all these distractions from overcoming you, then you can be free today. If you're tired of working from paycheck to paycheck, and you got more month than money, Jesus came to fix all of that today. And to give you ideas and to give you motivation that you can do better. And so he said, so they removed the stone. And Jesus raised his eyes and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. And I know you always hear me. Somebody say, I know you always hear me.
I know you always hear me.
I didn't hear everybody say it. Say, I know you always hear me.
I know you always hear me.
Watch this. He said, but because of the people standing around, I said it, so they might believe that you sent me. Let me help somebody in here. And I'm not going to be long at all because this message, this is more so about demonstration than an actual message today. Because what happens a lot in our life, God, is that we are victims of the faith of the people in our circle. Let me say that again. We are victims of the faith of the people in our circle. The reason why you can't do no more than your raggedy friends because they raggedy. And you foolish enough to let them stay your friends. The reason why you can't never start a business because they scared to do anything other than what they know is work 40 hours a week.
Right.
The reason why you can't get a divine healing and come to the altar because your friend's saying, child, don't be listening to that old preacher, just go on to the hospital like everybody else.
Right.
The reason why you are always stagnant because you're constantly listening to people that are afraid to trust God completely.
Amen.
This has nothing to do, nothing at all to do, hear me, nothing at all to do with the ability and if God is able, but everything to do with the voices you keep listening to. You are going to constantly repeat the circle that your family has gone through for years simply because you are around the folk that don't believe for better. I was doing some research and we were, we're really concerned about this drug epidemic happening in our city. And they said the problem with addiction. Did you know that every time somebody has a major surgery, like a hip replacement or what have you, they are given the same exact drug that is in the same exact compound as heroin?
Yeah.
Did y'all know that?
Yeah.
But the difference is the drug that they give them in a hospital is more potent.
Correct.
And they say to us that if they take it for 21 days, they are guaranteed to be addicted. But the reason why hospital patients don't get addicted and street users do is for the same reason why you are still stuck in the same situation. Because their surroundings. The reason why most people get addicted, the researchers say, is because they have nobody else to bring from or to pour from or to relate to. Only those who are typically isolated with nothing more than their own thoughts and their own fears and discouragements get addicted to drugs and unhealthy habits. But when they are in a healthy environment of support, love, and care, addiction doesn't come their way. And what am I saying to you? You are now struggling with the greatest addiction of all, and that's fear, discouragement, and doubt. Because you isolate yourself when you go through a problem and not bring it to God. If you want to get free of this problem, if you want God to heal you of the issue that you're struggling with, you have to be willing, are you ready? I'm going to cuss. To cut out all of your non-valuable friends. You have to cut out everybody that refuses to assist you in believing God. If you are around folks saying, but child, I wouldn't do that if I was you. I know you said God said, but God wouldn't want you to suffer like that. Then this is what you need to tell them. Baby, I understand exactly what you're saying and I hear you. However, the promise of God is that not only will He go through it with me, but He promised that He'll keep me and bring me on the other side. And so, the problem with your friends is that they don't have a relationship with God like you, so they can't possibly understand God bringing you out of the struggle. But the important thing that I want to highlight is this verse 42. He says, Jesus says, I know you hear me. I have no doubt in my mind that you hear every word that I say. But the reason why I made this public, because the folk around me got too many doubts and they've been talking too much mess. And really what Jesus was saying in the Hebrew vernacular, He said, ain't nothing but a bunch of haters. Yeah. And so what I did is I went public so that when you bring me out publicly, they have to acknowledge you publicly. Because I told them that nobody could do it but you. Yeah. Why am I saying that to you? Some of you have been going through some struggles. Some of you had some secret fears. And now you finally decided to take a leap of faith. And let me tell you this right now, straight from the preacher's mouth, from God's heart. What you're about to do right now is you're about to come out and your victory will be so public that even your enemies won't be able to deny it. Amen. The same folk that lied and thought that you wasn't going to make it. Wait till they see you again. You used to walk in there and you would be limping in church. Now you're going to walk like you Brother Gordon and you got a little swag to yourself. Amen, somebody. Amen. I want to say this to you. The thing about this particular text that really blessed me is that it's in line with Hebrews 11:6. He said, anybody that has faith in God must first believe that He is, and that He is able How many of y'all believe that God is able? No. I'm not talking about folks that half-hearted. I'm talking about you really believe. I mean, you believe beyond a shadow of a doubt. All right, now watch this. Then I want you this week to stop moving in fear and do the thing that God called you to.
Amen.
Oh, see. Look, I saw you. I just saw your face. I saw your face. Look, you know that business idea that you've been having for all these years? That you've been saying, like, let me get enough money. Let me go ahead and hit the lottery and I'll start. God said, start it with nothing and I'll give you everything. God said, just see, you got enough. He said, well, Lord, I got to make sure I got. No. Just do it. Because if God is with you, who can, matter of fact, let me tell you this. Let me talk to just faith folk. I need some faith folk right now. Who got a sickness in their body that they said they want to go be healed from? Who got a sickness in their body they just gotten used to in their body? Okay, I'm looking at you. I know who you are. You ain't got to, you're going to be healed today. Do you believe that God can heal you? Anybody tired of living check to check? Anybody living? How many folk want to see God move supernaturally in their life financially? Let me tell you the secret. You ready? Y'all ready? Y'all gonna do it? Give consistently. How many of you all have ever looked at your hand and said, here's my tithe or my offering, but here's my bill? And it seems like I don't have enough to give this because the bills are calling me louder than you, God. Has anybody ever wrestled with giving to God or giving to the bills? I promise you, I'm speaking to somebody in here. If you trust God with your finances and your giving, wherever God tells you to give, you won't never see a broke day. Amen. Can I give you my testimony? Amen. Let me give you my testimony. Let me encourage you. There was a time where my accounts were negative, right? And I was like, Lord, I'm scared to get blessed because my blessing will get eaten up by the bank. Let me tell you what the Lord did for me. God blessed me in such a way that, I'm normally only getting just at least like deposits through my account. That's normally how I get, whatever I get. Did you know that was the week when God blessed people to put cash in my hand? Because God knows specifically how to bless me and how to get what I need to me. Do you hear what I'm saying? He knows exactly what to do to meet the area that I'm struggling with. Why am I saying all of this? Simply for one reason. I need you to believe God that He's able to touch your body, to touch your finances, and to change your life. Who believes that today?